It's a Motown Monday. Let's get it kicked off and started. Welcome to the Nudelberg Daily Huddle.
Good Monday morning to everybody. Happy Father's Day weekend.
ABC. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Do, re, mi, ABC. The lessons are there. It's easy. Just got to pay attention. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're heading into the last week of June. Where did this year go, man?
That's crazy. That is absolutely insanity that's
crazy,
the case.
Crazy. Good morning, Gus Rennie. Gus Rennie would go, I think, in the Father Hall of Fame. He's an amazing father. He is. He's just an amazing father. Boop, boop, boop.
I got a chance to talk to some great fathers yesterday, exchange texts with guys, and it was really awesome to just, I texted Eddie Grant, who I haven't talked to in forever, who's a great father. So it's just good to connect with people.
And they're rolling in. Good morning, Jim Barrett. Hopefully you had a good day. Todd V, a regular, shuffles into the bar. Bam.
Good morning, Todd. Todd's back from the beach, I believe. Todd, you and I got to connect.
Corey Disson in the house. And Gottwald, welcome aboard. Greg Goldstein. Boom, boom, boom. Kenny DeBrito. There's another great father. Celebration. All right, let's get a Monday started. It's the last week of the month. Yesterday should have been a great day for everybody celebrating either the memory of your dad or being with your dad. I was not with my dad. I was with my two boys and my grandson, which was great. But next Saturday, this coming Saturday, is my 60th birthday, and we'll have all the generations together. And for me, it just don't get any better. What do you think, Nudelberg?
I'm excited. Yesterday was fantastic. Shout out to Jake for driving my son down from North Florida, which was great. So we got a chance for all of us to be together and grill some food. And I would say this, we've been on a kick of eating clean, doing right, keeping the toxins out of our body. I partook in some tequila yesterday and had a day of kind of gluttony, and it's amazing how quickly it affects your body. Like, my stomach was jacked up last night. So it was just drives home the point that when you're eating right and doing things the right way, when you just take a slight step off, you feel it even more.
So I actually hit goal. The goal for 3 weeks in was 195. Those of you who remember 3 weeks ago on a Monday, I started at 217. I did hit 195, and then I too partook in some Okeechobee smoked ribs, which were absolutely insane. But when you eat fatty, rich food like that, man, it's your body's like going, woo, woo.
They were phenomenal. They were so good, but
right off the bone. Really fun swimming, having a good time. Good morning, Kim Sweers. We'll be out on one of the FB Marine boats this Saturday. We'll be taking pictures and going live and showing off what her and her business get to do. Good morning, Teddy Teledano. Good to see you, man. The furniture man's in the house. Anyway, it's a Monday.
Hold on. Jeremy Turisk. I'm telling you, consistency is everything. The fact that great isn't all capitalized, I'm feeling like the energy's not the same this morning. I'm feeling like it's not quite at 100. Every morning, it's always capped.
You got to yell at me, baby.
Everything.
Yell at me, man. Oh, man, this is going to be outrageous, exciting week. Bookends for me, starting with my Father's Day and ending with my 60th birthday. But let's get into some fun content. Let's get our mind set for a great week because we're going to kick some ass. A couple of things that I think you need to know. It is National Hydration Day. What does that mean? That means you got to be filling your body full of water. And I'm going to show you what mine looks like.
I'm not a maniac, but I get it done with the normal bottle.
You're going to need a bigger bottle. So I blast in 1.5 of those every day, hence why I feel good. Skin is good, eyeballs clear, really good coming at you. So National Hydration Day, pay attention to, because it really does matter. Number 2, this date in 1981, John McEnroe had the famous interlude at Wimbledon when he yelled at the judge and said, "You can't be serious." That line has become famous. So today, when someone says something stupid to you, say to them, "You can't be serious." So
bring out your Johnny Mac.
I loved him. I thought his spirit, his energy, the Heineken man, he's done some great things. Also was in some movies where he was funny. That's 2 on the what's happening world. 3, let's focus on more sports. There's this crazy phenomenon going on that if you don't know about it, it is absolutely berserk. But stadiums that are playing in Europe, like soccer and baseball in China and some of the other things that are going on, there's a phenomenon that you can actually buy a cardboard cutout of yourself and put it in the stands. Now, why somebody would want to do this is beyond me. I can't figure it out. But 2020 might be the year of the fake sports fan. Once bustling with beer-soaked fans, stadiums across the world are now filled with cardboard cutouts. And if you can see that, folks, those are all cardboard cutouts.
Let's track it back to where it started. Ingo Mueller, who is a filmmaker in Germany, right, is complaining to his wife that, he can't go to the games and he can't be there to support. And so because he's so upset about it, his wife is like, well, if you feel so upset about it, why don't you just send a picture in and have him put it up there? Sure enough, they do it. They create this massive idea to put pictures of people in the stands. He's got inquiries from teams in 15 different countries about how to put the program together and what to do. So amazing innovation, and you never know where ideas come from.
Which is great. So I love that you went to the innovation side, which is fantastic. But with everything good, there's always some knucklehead who does something bad. So somebody uploaded a picture of Harold Shipman, and Harold Shipman is one of the most famous, prolific serial killers. And it wasn't until they caught it. So it was like, oh, he's in the crowd. So the innovation is great. There's a company called Face Fan, Return to Sports, Fans at the Game. Those are all European companies. Here in the States, My Fan Seats is the one that is taken over. If you want, you can actually have a picture of your dog, which that's a little crazy. But along those themes, there's also something called Hear Me Cheer, and they will be pumping in fake cheers so that you can either yell happy goal or you can yell some obscenity and really get involved in the game. So I like your take on it, looking on the positive. It is innovative.
And some teams are using it to benefit the charities that they're aligned with, which is really cool. So if you're paying for it, if it's $20 or $30 or whatever it is to get your likeness in the crowd, they're that's benefiting the charities that they're aligned with, which is great.
One more in sports, and you guys, this one is a sad day.
Sad day.
Those of us who remember wearing Zubaz, the zebra-colored big wide sweatpants, who were the craze. The only thing that was crazier than that was dolphin shorts. Do you remember dolphin shorts?
Correct.
Anyway, the Minnetonka company behind Zubaz filed for Chapter 11, and so goodbye, Zubaz.
It's so sad. Like a real piece of my childhood and my 90s love is gone out the window with Zubaz, because I used to love those shorts.
Of course, man. Shorts and sweatpants, and it was great. Great shit. So the reason why I spend time doing that research and sharing it with you is that it's very relevant in the dialogues that you're starting with new people. If you start out with, hi, I'm in the XYZ business and I want to talk to you about what we do, womp, womp, womp. Nobody wants to be interrupted to talk about your business. Sorry, nobody cares. what they do care about is relevant stuff. So if you start out with saying, hey, listen, I'm glad we have this time together in this virtual setting. I said, did you know that Zubaz, the company behind Zubaz, went out of business? They're either going to get a wild reaction or it'll be something. And then move to other current events that sort of show people that you are more than what your job is. And you have a way to build a relationship. If they react to it, if Mark and I didn't know each other, and I reached out and I said, hey, I got a real fun fact for you today. It's National Hydration Day. How much water are you going to drink today? That's a very relevant conversation that builds, confidence in the dialogue that will follow. So take all of those and use them. Use them in social media, use them in your regular daily dialogue. And then we're going to move on to what the topic of the day is. And this is an interesting thing because I started writing a book a while back and I sort of got waylaid. And so this is a body of work that is in the making. And if anybody wants to chime in, they can help me and I'll give you credit in the credits, obviously. All of the things that our parents taught us that made us better salespeople. So there were some things that jumped out to me. I think I have a half a dozen of them. There's many, many more on the list. I pulled these because I thought it'd be a good conversation for today. So here's the first one. Our parents always told us as we were growing up, don't talk to strangers. Guess what? Wrong. If you want to be great in sales and great in life, you got to talk to strangers, man.
It's so funny to me. And because I grew up in that environment. So for me, when I step onto an elevator, the first thing I'm doing is I'm commenting on something that's happening with that person. I'm saying hello. There's some way that I'm creating an interaction with almost everybody that I talk to on a daily basis, which is the exact opposite because you immediately find something out about somebody because they'll look at you sideways and be like, why are you talking to me? Or they're going to, start a conversation back with you and you're going to get into a dialogue.
So I think it's one at the top of the list in being successful in life is breaking down barriers. I write about it in the book. I write about it all the time. Some of the greatest relationships I've had is when I stepped on a plane and sat down next to a stranger, or I'm at a bar, which, one of the things I do religiously or did religiously was always eat at the bar. Michelle and I love eating at the bar. There's always fresh content and fresh people. And so that was number one. Number two, when we were in kindergarten, we learned to follow the leader. Your kindergarten teacher would say, get in line and follow the leader. Guess what? One of the number one things that helped me in my career, and I think Mark, it helped you, was follow the leader. See what they're doing, digest what's happening, and make it your own. So, the idea is early on, our parents gave us that clue. Hey, boom, follow the leader. Mark, comment.
I think it's what we do on a daily basis here. A lot of what we do on Takeover Thursday or any day of the week when we're giving you this content, it's not that we have revolutionized the world and thought about this thing for the first time for ourselves. It's an idea that has come to us from some other place that has created a conversation that we've unpacked and then put it back together in our own way in order to make it our own and then share it with our own audience. So figure out what successful people are doing, figure out how to make it your own way, and then go do it yourself.
Love it. I mean, so true. Lots of great comments. John Son says, my mom used to tell the children should be seen and not heard. I remember that one. What a fallacy. They taught us to go the other way. This one I think is my favorite because if you understand it and you really, really digest this, it will change your life. When we were kids, you didn't get shit until you asked for permission, always. And then if you asked and you didn't add the magic word, please, boom. Well, I found early in my career when I was watching other salespeople, they just zoom right in to the sales pitch. I always stop and say, do I have your permission to talk about your business in an intimate way? Will you share with me? That's the other part of permission is when we were in first grade, you learned how to share. Well, if you're not willing to share, goodbye. There's nothing there. So the idea that you could ask for permission and watch the result of people that you're talking to, if you're having a nice friendly conversation, say, by the way, do I have permission to launch into, maybe some sensitive areas? Is that cool with you? Bam, the walls open up.
I think people that we work with have a hard time transitioning. They're like, okay, well, you're giving me all these things to talk about to build a relationship. How do I get to the business? If you can't naturally segue into a business conversation with them, it's a great way to use that as the segue. You're talking about Zubaz and everything that's happening right now. Hey, this has been great. I've really enjoyed. Do I have your permission to talk some business with you right now? I'd like to talk to you about some other things. It's a solid transition into that next part of the conversation, which is where you want to get to.
And it lets people know that you're serious about what's coming up. Hey, listen, man, this was great. I really enjoyed it. Do I have your permission to sort of shift the gears and talk about what I do for a living or what you do for a living? Or I love, love, love asking permission. Once someone agrees to open the door, most of the time salespeople are trying to jam it up with people and they're so guarded. They're just not doing it. Ask for permission. Okay. Again, this one might be one of my favorites. It's the only way that training works. And that's, there are consequences. If your parents said you go to bed at 8:00 and you didn't go to bed at 8:00, there are consequences. You got punished. You had something taken away. There are consequences. As adults, if you don't understand and live with consequences, you will constantly be trending toward the easy way out, which is another one, the easy way out. So this idea of consequences, when we train people, I always say, okay, listen, here's the work. Here's what I want you to do today. What's the consequence if you don't do it? When you own the consequence up front, right? You watch the difference. And this is where sales leaders, sales management need to really get their head focused on. When the person you're talking to agrees to the consequence, they own it. Hey, let's agree to what the punishment is here. I'll cut a finger off. Okay, great. If they agree to it, then it's up to you to follow up.
We talk about the A word all the time, which in my opinion, in all of success, it is the key fundamental to all of success. And it was the one thing that was critical to every culture that we built in football, and that's accountability. You want to know how to build an accountable culture? Have consequences. As soon as there is somebody or someone in the organization who doesn't get held to a consequence, all the accountability is gone within the culture. So you want a culture of accountability, you have to have consequences.
So what is in your mind, what's the ultimate consequence?
So to me, would be losing your job.
You get fired, period.
Right.
This idea that it's democracy is bullshit, and you're part of something bigger. Someone has to take responsibility for being a leader. Leaders should pass down accountability and consequences. I got
one for you. It's a privilege, not a right. So it's a privilege to have your job. It's not a right to have your job. Carry that all day, every day.
Yeah. I mean, our parents said that, it's a privilege to live in this house, when you were bitching and moaning and stuff like that. Okay, here we go more. It's not a popularity contest. Wrong. Wrong. So, they taught us, you know what, Steve, it's not a popularity contest. Complete bullshit. It is absolutely a popularity contest. Life right now, especially, is about who you know and who knows you and what they say about you. Question you asked me on Friday, which, by the way, that was super fun. That question and answer was amazing. What do I want my legacy to be? I want my legacy to be when people mention my name, they talk about how I made them feel. That's that is a popularity contest. I want people to feel good. And then the last one I have, which is sort of kind of cute, is you made your bed, now lie in it. And I think, that goes right along with the accountability. People are bitching and moaning, about, circumstances. You made your bed, man. If you haven't done the work, if you spent the weekend playing around, getting drunk, not paying attention to your business, and you're here Monday morning, showing up and throwing up, you made your bed, live in it, man. Boom, lie in it. So any thoughts there, my son?
No, I think that's great. We're coming up on our hard stop here in a minute. I think, this is all great, great content for you to go out and use in your conversations today as you go out and about. It is the last week of the month, so go get after it, right? I mean, it's your last Monday of June. So unbelievable that here we are 6 months in, but remember, the clock is always ticking. So I think those who feel like, and we've talked about it, it's an infinite game. The game is to stay in the game, but you got to be active to stay in it. So go take your opportunity today to be great.
So 2 last things. Beth Bernstein says, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I'm going to go one further. It's not those, it's who knows you. And that's really the purpose of social media, the purpose of this. We are being introduced to people at scale just because we're doing this kind of thing. We're putting in the time, we're putting in the effort. The barrier to do this was none other than a commitment to come up with new, fresh content every morning that we're willing to give away. And boom, here we are. We're doing it. Jay Katari, welcome to the Nudelberg Huddle, man. There's a lot of new names. Tell your friends. Get out there, have an amazing, amazing week. Alexa Lanier, good to see you here. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about Simon Sinek and the webinar that we were invited into last week. So Mark has 2 pages of notes. I have 2 pages of notes. We'll put together our thoughts and deliver it in a way that you can digest what I think one of the coolest guys on the planet had to share. Thank you for being here. Go out and make it a fabulous Monday. Motivation Monday, kick it in the ass and stay on the ball.
Stay on the ball.